Okay, we're resuming. Look at the install here. Upper, lower, letters and numbers, I believe, are enforced on that initial password. Okay, Control Insert sends Control Delete to the virtual machine console. So once we get the desktop here, naturally we're going to want to go ahead and install VMware Tools and see if that installation is uneventful and straightforward. Okay, Server Manager's running. Mouse is jumpy as can be expected. And if we hit Windows plus X, we get this key administrative pop-up to bring up Device Manager. So naturally, things like network adapters are not optimal yet, and display adapter. We're going to fix all that with good old VMware Tools. So on this very first boot, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. Right-click on the VM. Oops. Right-click on the VM and say Guest, install VMware Tools. Quick look at the operating system size on disk. Uh, 11.4 gig. Another thing I'll just point out is I like to show all these icons, especially during early install. And I also want to set the clock to the right time zone. And turn off auto syncing. I'd rather use VMware Tools to do that. You'll see that coming up here. Okay, so we got the clock right. VMware Tools. I think it did briefly pop up. I missed it, but could click on the installer there, or we can just double click the drive. Okay. VMware Tools installation underway. The version of VMware Tools you get is dictated by the bundled version that's in your version of ESXi 5.1. So this is my first test with ESXi 5.1 in what's expected to be the final build, RTM, coupled with Windows Server 2012, which is definitely the release to manufacture version. Okay, tools install next. Typical is fine. Next, install. Now, if you think you might move this virtual machine over to VMware Workstation somewhere else, you might want to do a full install for maximum compatibility and ability to move it all over the place. So my mouse will seamlessly move in and out of this virtual machine once the proper VMware branded mouse driver is installed. And we should also get an optimized video driver. Not just the generic WDDM driver from Microsoft, but the VMware 3D adapter. So the virtual machine has settings related to video. If we take a look at those, see that enable 3D support is on. It's a server OS, this should be fine. We don't really care. Probably going to use remote desktop connection anyway to connect to this for smoothest, fastest experience on a local network. So once VMware Tools is installed, naturally, the usual reboot is required. Once we've rebooted, we'll have a tray icon for VMware Tools, and we're going to want to set it to sync the clock with the host. See if we can get some insight into what the holdup is here. Nothing. It's working. Just takes a little while in the middle there. All right. Even on a solid state drive, apparently. Not the fastest solid state, a little older, but that's okay. It's finished. We're going to reboot tools like we usually do. Let's say no to reboot. Just the one more thing I want to check. If I hit Windows and W, okay, that didn't work. How about under apps? Same search. That worked. This is a lab machine. Do I want to enter the password every boot? Not necessarily. Okay, so it's no longer going to ask me for a password when I reboot. And we can also look at power profile. Change when the computer sleeps. Do we want the display to ever turn off in a virtual machine? No, not really. And look here that when, okay, sleep is on never, yep. So that's all set. And tools may or may not come up. Yeah, we can't do anything. Okay, so it's time to go ahead and reboot. Because tools is installed, that worked. Now it's rebooting. What we should see is it auto log on right to the desktop. That was quite fast. Very nice. And VMware Tools takes a little longer to come up. Once the service starts for VMware Tools, the icon will show.